What's up guys, it's your boy Wolf back with another 7 Deadly Sins Origins video. In today's video, we're talking about something a bit important-ish. You've probably guessed it by now from the title and from the thumbnail. We are talking about me stepping away from 7 Deadly Sins Origins and why. Now before we get straight into the nitty-gritty of this video, I want to take a moment to say this isn't me stepping away from YouTube, it's me stepping away from the game. I do plan to keep continuing to make content on this channel, but just for some different games in the future. Hopefully you guys will stick with me, keep supporting me and the channel, keep watching my content, and hopefully you will enjoy the content that's going to be coming. To help me out guys, keep supporting me in the channel, take a moment to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click on the notification bell so that you find out whenever a new video goes live. I do have some interesting things planned for the future that hopefully you guys will like, and hopefully you guys will continue to keep showing me the same support that you've shown me so far. But without further ado, let's get straight into it. Why am I stepping away from 7 Deadly Sins Origins? Number 1. The daily loop is boring as hell. I am getting tired of logging in every day just to farm my platinum and spend keys. It is so boring. But it is also so fundamental to the game that it's starting to feel like a chore. And the moment it feels like a chore, the moment you, or at least me, the moment I get that feeling where I'm like, oh, I need to log in to farm my platinum. And that's my whole goal for playing the game on a daily basis, especially when I think like, oh, I might fall behind, I'm gonna extend my grind out by a few days if I don't do this. That's when I'm like, oh, the game's kind of dead, huh? Like, I'm not playing it for fun anymore because there's actually things to do in the game. I'm playing it because it's become a daily chore, just part of my routine. I need to log in every day to at least get my platinum farmed, to at least get my keys used up, or even just buy the swap them out for the free bundles in the shop where you can convert your keys into like bundles that you store in your bag if you want to use them later. But I mean, that just goes to show like that's just how boring the game is at the moment. And that leads to the next point as well, which is there is a serious lack of content in the game. Aside from farming platinum, the other part that you have to do every day is using your keys. And that's pretty much it. The only daily activities we have to enjoy the game or even just to play the game is farming platinum and using your keys. And the only actual content we have that's like we can do every day is dungeons and boss challenges and maybe the field bosses and elites too. But then the next issue that's compounding on top of this is that we only have 50 keys to use daily, or 55 if you do the Vanya daily missions, because one of those gives you 5 keys, and that's what I've been doing for the longest time. But 50 or 55 keys a day, one Abyss mode costs 20 keys. That means you run 2 Abyss modes and then like anything else like a field boss or an elite, and that's it. Your keys are done. That's your daily gameplay loop completely finished, because now you've farmed your platinum, you've used your keys, that's taken you maybe a total of half an hour-ish, and now what do? Now there's nothing left to do in the game at the moment, because you either just keep farming some resources on the map, or you just wander around and hit mobs for fun. There's nothing else to do. Like, even if you wanted to kind of maybe spend some time testing out different characters, or building different characters, well, that uses keys as well, but now you have no keys left. Or you need more platinum because you need to build their weapons or you need to build their gear. Everything that you can kind of do on a day-to-day basis with the game is gated behind the amount of platinum that we get and the amount of keys that we have to use. There are no side quests, there are no mini games, there's no hidden story bits. There's like barely a few side quests in each zone, and you finish those really, really fast while doing the main story quest line early on. And each update that we've had so far, like at the very least you would think that they would add like one mini quest line, even if it's just a side quest line. But after finishing the main story way back in 1.0, which ended with Act 12, we had to wait until 1.2 to get a very short addition of Act 13 to the main story quest, and that's been it. Like, that was the extent of what we got in terms of like non-boss content. Of course we do have like the Abyss modes getting added and Time Space Junction, but Time Space Junction we've only had 2 bosses so far, and those are kind of a one and done. Like, there's really no reason to keep repeating them. You farm them until you get your 3 stars, which doesn't take very long. Like, At best, it maybe takes you a day or a couple of days to figure it out. And then once you do, you get your 3 stars and you walk away. Now you've got your rewards and there's no reason to go back to it. And then the Abyss modes, you kind of farm every day because you need to use your keys and you need to get the materials to farm engraving equipment or whatever. But again, it costs 20 keys for one Abyss mode. And once you've used up your 20 keys on one Abyss mode, you've done it twice, you've only got 50 keys a day, you can only run 2 Abyss modes every day and then you're done. Then you're at a shortage of keys again. So there's a really, really big lack of content, and what content is there, you zoom through really fast. Now my next point is team building. I know that the current roster is small, so it might be too early to say this, but team building seems to be non-existent in this game. This kind of game is supposed to be all about team building, about grabbing a bunch of different units, testing them out, building them out, seeing what synergies they have, and then putting them together. But right now, the team building is non-existent because, for one, the whole point is to kind of just stick one element together. But even on top of that, they've made some characters so insanely OP compared to others that the best team comps in most cases don't even use the full like 4 units or 3 or more units or whatever of that one element. You kind of just use your main DPS and then the holy trinity of Daisy, Manny and Slater. Or if you don't have Daisy, then you maybe drop one of those for a different burst unit. Or you drop it for a burst unit because you need one anyway. But mostly your teams are consisting of a DPS and at least 2 of Daisy, Manny and Slater. And then in the last slot you either have the third one of those 3 supports or you have a burst unit. And because of this, you only really end up building a few units because you only need such a small selection to actually clear all the content available. You don't even need specific units to clear the field bosses and elites. You can clear those with pretty much anyone. Like a lot of the time I just go around punching those with my Gauntlet Diane. So you don't need specific units for that content. You only really need it for the Abyss modes and the time-space junction. And those, because of their typings, dictate what units you build. But even then, the best units aren't always the ones that you think are the best. I mean, the time-space junction 2 wanted Holy and Ice units, and a lot of people were doing it with Jericho and the Ice Manny and stuff, but in the end, for me, the best team was actually just using Escanor as my only DPS. I didn't even need Ice. Just threw in Gila for the barrier. I was using Manny and Daisy, the classic supports, and then Escanor. And that was it. That was all you need. And that's pretty much the same team that I use for a lot of content, just changing whether Escanor is Fire or Holy. And it's also pretty much the same team I use with Meliodas. I use Meliodas with Daisy and Manny, and then I use Diane just because I want another option for triggering burst. But that I basically use the same team minus like 1 or 2 units changing here and there across the whole game, and that makes team building as an aspect really, really boring in this game. On top of that, 2 of the most OP units in the game that almost everyone uses, Manny and Daisy if you have her, are both OC units. So I started playing this game based on 7 Deadly Sins because it's based on 7 Deadly Sins. I played this game, if I wanted to play this game purely because of the type of game that it was, I would probably have stuck to Wuthering Waves back when I started that game. Or I'd be playing Honkai or whatever, because those games are much better, much more successful versions of this. But I played this because it's based on 7 Deadly Sins. I wanted to be using the characters I know and love from the anime. But half of my team is not even IP characters. It's OC units. And those are the units that I kind of have to use if I want my team to perform well. Like, obviously you could say that, oh, you don't really have to use them, like you could choose to use, but no, the way team building works and the way the characters have been designed and the strength, like if you really want to perform well and actually clear content reliably, you kind of do need to use like Manny and Daisy and stuff and Slater to make your team as good as it can be. And on top of that, there's only really 2 units in the game that even qualify as like really good main DPS units, and those are Meliodas and Escanor. And this brings us to Escanor. Let's talk about IP characters in Escanor. Escanor is the most hype unit in the IP, pretty much the most popular unit. Yet the Escanor we got in game is honestly such a big letdown in comparison. His kit doesn't feel insanely fun to use all the time. In my opinion, Meliodas has a much better kit. He does more damage, he does as much damage if not more, and he kills things a lot faster than Escanor does. And Escanor, from my experience of using him so far, feels like he either needs dupes or he needs specific supports like Daisy and Manny to even function well. Escanor has been such a big letdown in comparison to like the Escanor units that we got back when Grand Cross was still doing really well. When Escanor was a new unit in that game, he was hype, he did really well, you could use him everywhere and he was fun, you would use him in PvP, you would use him for farming and stuff, it was really great. But Escanor in this game just feels like such a letdown. Like I kind of use him just because I have him and my Escanor is 1010 and I didn't even have to spend much to get him to 1010, I spent like 30 or 40 pounds to get him to 1010, so my Escanor, I got really lucky and got him really decked out, but even then I still don't have as much fun using him as I do have fun using something like Meliodas. Moving on from characters, a lot of the systems in the game are also just really bad. Engravings, weapons, everything costs platinum to make, but you are limited by how much platinum you can farm each week. On top of that, they try to improve the whole engraving system with adding the new items where you can like change the quality, like the item level and the passive level on your gear. But still, you're gated with how much of this you can craft because one, you still need platinum because it uses like the sunstone alloys which use platinum to craft. And another, it uses transcendent essence. And now that is an item that you're gated by your keys because that only drops from like dungeon bosses and boss challenge bosses, which requires keys. So now, not only were you already gated by platinum to like keep improving or making better bits of your engravings, but now they've added an extra gate on top of that in using keys to get transcendent essence to craft these items. So now you're gated by a daily amount of how much you can craft these items. On top of that, the items, the ones that you can make for free anyway, the one that is kind of a gamble, it's not even guaranteed that you're going to improve your item. There's a chance that you actually make your piece of gear worse. So then you either have to spend a few days hoarding a ton of these, like maybe just across a week, just keep grinding out, keep farming them, making them and then storing in your bag so that you have a ton of them to use in one go, or you make a couple a day, but then you run the risk of making your gear worse than it is because the item can drop your gear's item level. So I really do not like the whole engraving system at all in this game. I think that a lot of things need to change with the gear system and the weapon system. Like either just give us way more platinum or take away some of these gates, or I don't know, a lot of it needs to change in my opinion because it is way too predatory in a sense. And also there's not enough content in the game and there's not enough resources in the game for you to engage with that system consistently enough or regularly enough. The banner rotations feel really bad as well, in my opinion. After, like everyone gets melee as like the beginner banner sort of, you get that banner for the first 3 weeks of your account regardless of when you start. But then after that, the first actual 3 banners that we got on rotation in the game were OC, Escanor, and then another OC. They're just kind of just throwing OCs at us. And I get that they gave us an OC in Clotho after Escanor. That kind of makes sense to me because Escanor was a big IP banner unit. A lot of people might have spent money or used all the resources they saved up on that banner. So they kind of gave us an OC thinking that that would be a decent break for us to skip after Escanor so that we would save again for the next IP unit that comes out. But for one thing, 2 OCs in the first 3 real banners in the rotation feels really bad for a game that is based off of an IP. And then on top of that, there is a serious lack of currency in the game. There's a lack of content or methods to collect currency and save them up. You can barely even collect any regular banner pulls. Like you have to rely on the events that they give us every few weeks to even just get standard banner pulls. So trying to save up currency for your limited banner pulls is even worse. And when you do get currency from something, whether it's like from Time Space Junction or from the events and stuff, they're giving us like 100 star fragments at a time or 200, but it costs 3,000 for a multi. So you're barely even getting you're not even getting a full multi, you're barely getting a fraction of a pull or a fraction of a multi, which makes it really hard to save up if you're free to play or low spender. And for whales, it's like a predatory system where it kind of gives you a small amount and then you feel like, okay, if I want this, then I kind of need to spend a bit more money now on top to actually get what I want. And I hate that feeling. And as a content creator, especially with the game being in its current state, I personally feel like if I don't try to summon for every unit and get at least one copy of every unit, then I don't have enough content to make for the game. Which means that now I need to try to get every unit at least one copy. But with such limited currency in the game, I feel like I have to spend to be able to do that. Now, some of you might think I'm crazy and that I can do without that, but the content in the game is so limited that as a small channel where I want to be making a video every day or at least every other day if I want to keep growing my channel and keep my uploads consistent, there just isn't enough content in the game to keep making videos that consistently, that regularly, unless I start making videos about, I don't know, random things where you guys kind of just listen to me yap. And if I don't grab every unit and make videos in each one, then I have even less to talk about. So, like I said, I don't want to drag this out for too long. All in all, the game's starting to feel a bit boring, a bit too grindy and like a chore, and a bit predatory on my wallet for my liking. So that being said, I will continue to monitor the game, and I might still play it here and there offline as updates come in. And if it seems to change for the better, I will revisit it in the future maybe, and maybe we'll come back to it and make content on this game again if it looks like it's going down a good path. But as it stands, I'm not happy with it, and I don't want to continue making content for a game I find boring, because if I don't enjoy the game and I force myself to make content for the sake of making content, then the content is not going to come out as well as if it was something that I was genuinely excited and hyped about. And then I wouldn't be doing right by myself, and I wouldn't be doing right by you guys, the viewers who are watching the content, because you would be getting a very half-assed product. And that's not what I want to be doing. I want to be making sure that I'm making the best content I can possibly make, content that you guys will enjoy or find useful in some way. So taking that all into consideration, I'm basically saying that for a while at least, I will be stepping away from 7 Deadly Sins Origins. Moving forward, I'm going to be going back to a game that I love and enjoy, which is Final Fantasy XIV Online. I've played that game quite a bit over the past year. Not on the YouTube channel, obviously. I've been playing it in my own time. I'd taken a break from it when 7 Deadly Sins Origins came out. But now that I'm kind of over 7 Deadly Sins Origins, I will be going back to that game. Obviously, there was an announcement not that long ago for the new expansion coming out next year for Evercold. I still have yet to play Dawntrail, which was the last expansion that they had released. So I will be making content on playing through the latest expansion of Dawntrail. I'll probably be streaming it, showing all the different jobs that I play, leveling up a lot of my different jobs because my character has a lot that I can progress on in that game. And I'll be making videos on that game, and I'll be streaming that as well. So stay tuned for some live streams coming soon here on my YouTube channel. Also, when new and interesting games come out in the future, as they come out, we'll take a look at them. We'll do like a first look video or something, try them out either in a video, or I'll be showcasing some of the new games on stream. And if you guys want me to continue playing them on stream or making content on those games or guides or whatever, we can look at that, and we can definitely do that. I want to hear from you guys what kind of content, what kind of games you want to see me play, what kind of content you want to see me make. I want to play games that both you and I can enjoy together, rather than forcing myself to play something for the sake of making content. Hopefully you guys agree, and hopefully you guys will still continue to support the channel, still tune in to watch my content and join me in the upcoming streams and help grow the channel further. But if you were only here for 7DS Origins content, I will also understand that. So I won't take it personally if you're going to step away because I'm not playing 7DS Origins anymore. But hopefully you guys will stick around, keep watching the games that I play in the future, keep watching the content, and hopefully you'll still be able to enjoy what I make in the future and stick around and help grow this community into something big. So I appreciate all the support you've shown me until now. Hopefully you'll stick with me going forwards. We can build an awesome community together. But that's it from me for now, guys. I'll be back soon with some FF content. Until then, I've been Wolf. Peace.